YouTube. So today's video is going to be my labor and delivery video. I didn't vlog as much as I would like because my labor and delivery did not go as planned. Not at all. Like, it was just crazy. First, I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Amari Alexander Santiago. He was born on December 13th at 3:46 in the morning. Okay, to jump into this labor and delivery story. So, first of all, my expected due date was December 6th. I was 41 weeks when he came. He was 1 week late exactly. He came on a Wednesday morning, but it was Monday when it started. Monday morning, I had an appointment to see my OGBYN for the weekly checkup. And I went and she told me, you know, my cervix was softening and it was shortening, but I was only 1 centimeter dilated though. But she asked me if I wanted to do the membrane sweep. I said yes. So pretty much what the membrane sweep is when they use their finger, they go up your vagina and they sweep and separate the amniotic sac from your cervix. So yeah, they separate the sac from the cervix and that jump starts labor. It doesn't work for all women and it doesn't always work, but it worked for me. Within like 2 hours of my doctor's appointment, after I went home, I started to have cramps. And the cramps weren't crazy. What it felt like was like a day before you get your period, you know, you have that feeling in your stomach. It's not crazy pain, but you feel like, shit, I'm about to get my period. That's what it felt like. And, you know, it was a consistent feeling. Like, I felt like that for like majority of the day. It wasn't until like around 7-ish, 8 o'clock that night when my husband and I, we were on our way to CC's with some of our friends, and I started feeling the contractions. At first, I was just like, you know, it could just be Braxton Hicks, you know. I didn't know if it was real contractions. So while we were at CC's, the contractions didn't go away. Like, I know with Braxton Hicks, like if you move a certain way, you get up, you walk, they can go away. It wasn't moving, it wasn't budging. So I was just like, is this really happening? Like I told my husband, I'm like, babe, I feel contractions. Like, are you sure they're not Braxton Hicks? I'm like, babe, this is different. Usually when I have the Braxton Hicks, they'll go away. Like, these aren't going away. They keep happening. So I started timing them. I started like seeing if there was a pattern. And when we were at CC's, they were like 20 minutes apart. And it was consistent. Like, it would start small and then it would get like big and then it would ease. Are you waking up? We were at CC's for about like an hour and a half-ish to 2 hours, I would say. Yeah. While we were at CC's, the contractions started getting closer together, and I was like, babe, we're having a baby tomorrow. Like, I'm telling you, these are the real deal. Like, I've never experienced contractions like this before. And then he was like, are you sure? And I was like, babe, like, I'm telling you this because, like, I really feel that way. on me worked. And I went online and I Googled it. I'm like, how soon after you get your membrane swept does labor start? And like, women were saying, oh, I went into labor 3 hours later. I went into labor like the next day. And I was just like, babe, this is like, I think this is really happening. So throughout the night, my contractions, like I kept timing them. By the time we got home, it was like 10:30. They were like 12-ish minutes apart. And it was getting stronger too. I'm like, it's hurting more and the time period is shortening. And he was just like, okay, so you just let me know when it's time to go to the hospital. I was like, okay, I'll let you know. I did not sleep that night. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. Like I tried to sleep, but I was getting up like every 10 minutes because of the contractions. Like it was awful. It wasn't until like 6:30 in the morning when my contractions were like 5 minutes apart. And you know, my OB always said, don't go to the hospital unless your water breaks, or unless like you're bleeding heavy or the contractions are 3 to 5 minutes apart. So as soon as it was like 5 minutes apart, I'm like, we're going to the hospital because this shit hurts. So 6:30 in the morning, it was like 5 minutes apart, and I was dying. Like I was dying. I was like, I've never experienced any pain like this before. Like those contractions were so freaking painful. So I was having like heat flashes. Like I was hot one minute, I was cold the next. Like I was saying, yeah, I was cold one second, the next second I was hot. Like the contractions were so bad. Like I would go, I think I went in the shower like 3 or 4 times that night because the warm water really helped me with the contractions. Like when I was, oh, he just pooped. When I was in the shower, I didn't feel the contractions. Like it was so nice, the warm water on my skin. So I went in the shower a lot that night. But yeah, once I saw that they were 5 minutes apart, I was like, we need to go to the hospital. I threw up about 3 or 4 times while we were home. Like the pain was so bad. Like I was throwing up. Like it was awful. So on our way to the hospital, I was like, babe, hurry up. Like we need to get there like now. We got there around like 7:10 in the morning, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, this is it. I'm at the hospital right now. Like I'm about to have a baby. So I get into the hospital. My husband drops me off in the front. I went to triage. They signed me in and they took me in the back. They, you know, hooked me up to the machine. They hooked up the thing to my stomach to see how far my contractions are apart. At that time, I was like 3.5, 4 minutes apart. And they were saying like, yeah, you're about to have a baby. They checked my cervix and I was already 7 centimeters dilated. They're like, you're about to have a baby soon. No, not true. That was like 7:38 in the morning. They took me up to my room and my contractions were killing me. My nurse, Lucy, I love her. That was the best nurse I've had since I got there. And at first, I was so mad. I was being such a freaking brat, but I was in so much pain. Like, she really stuck there with me. Like, she was helping me with my breathing. She was like, you know, just trying to like make me feel better. And like, as soon as I got there, I tried my best to just deal with it. I was like, I'm not gonna ask for the epidural until like I really cannot deal with it. My contractions were becoming 3 minutes apart, and I was like, oh no, I can't deal with this. It was so strong, it was so painful. I was like, okay, I need the epidural. And she's like, you sure? I'm just like, yes, I need the epidural. Like I was screaming bloody murder. Like every time a contraction came on, like I had to like hold the bed. I was rocking back and forth, like I was shaking, like it was so bad. So she was just like, okay, well, there's only one I can never say this word right. Anesthesiologist. Yeah. Well, y'all know what I mean. She's like, there's only one on the clock at the moment, and right now he's in the OR. I was like, oh shit. I'm gonna die. Oh my God. My husband has this really bad habit. When he's nervous, he laughs. And he laughed when she said that he's in the OR and the demon came out of me. I'm like, don't even fucking start with me today. I'm like, keep it in. Don't fucking laugh. This is not fucking funny. I was like, I'm going through it and you're sitting here fucking laughing. And then like I felt so bad because the nurse was in the room and like I didn't want to seem like the crazy girl. But then she goes to my husband, she's like, you, anything she needs today, she is the boss. Like, you do whatever she says. Da, 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 da. She was on my side. And he's like, it's just a nervous thing. Like, I'm nervous. Like, this is really happening. And he apologized to me. I'm like, I understand, babe. But please, try to contain yourself. Because right now, I can kill you. So the anesthesiologist didn't come for like another 30, 45 minutes. I was dying. Like, I literally felt like I threw up. I had a bucket by my bedside because the pain was so unbearable for me. Like, I just kept throwing up. I threw up a few more times before he got there. And as soon as he got there, like, he was like, do you want the full rundown of like what we're gonna do, or do you just want me to shut up and give you the drug? I'm like, honestly, sir, I just want the drug. Like, I don't care. I just don't want to feel anything. So, mind you guys, I have been up since 8 o'clock Monday morning. Didn't go to sleep Monday night. I had little 5-minute cat naps here and there. Because I was experiencing the contractions. Like, I didn't sleep all night, and by the time the anesthesiologist came, it was like 10:30. He gave me the epidural and he was like, within a few minutes you'll start to feel less and less pain, and within 20 minutes you won't feel anything. I remember him doing the shot, and then I remember the nurse asking me, she was like, okay, she's like, once you get the shot, you'll be able to take a nap, you'll be able to sleep, da-da-da, all that. I got the shot. I didn't wake up until 1 o'clock. I was gone. I was out. And when I woke up, like, I tried to like sit up in bed. Didn't happen. Could not feel my legs for anything. Like, I took my hands and I was like shaking my leg, and it was literally dead weight. Like, I felt my legs from my hands, but I didn't feel my hands on my legs. It was so crazy. Like, I was literally shaking the hell out of my leg, didn't feel anything. And I had all the equipment attached to me to like monitor my contractions. So I looked over at the monitor and like my contractions were just like booming, and I was just like, holy fuck, I don't feel any of that. Like, they were, and I asked the lady, I'm like, how far apart are my contractions? And she said, right now they're like 2 minutes apart. And I was just like, whoa, no, nothing. I was just like, thank you, Lucy. I was like, when you see Dr. Dave, tell him I said thank you, because y'all, I don't feel shit. After that, it was so annoying because I was still 7 centimeters dilated. He was still, he was -2, the level, his head was down in my cervix, they said. He was like -2, wouldn't come down, and all day, nothing. He would not come down for anything. It wasn't until like, I would say 11 at night that he came down to like a 0. And they were like, we're not gonna start pushing until he's at a 2. And I was just like, so he has like 2 more levels to go. And I was just like, god damn it, like, I'm not gonna have this baby until tomorrow. And I was like, damn, I've been in this hospital all freaking day and this baby still isn't here. The hospital that I chose, it had open visitations 24 hours. While I was in labor, I could have as many people in my room as I wanted, but when it was time to push, only 3 people could be in the room. So, you know, while I was just sitting there waiting, you know, our friends came through. It was a full house in there. It was my husband, Meech, Tatiana, Chris came, Carl came, who else? My father-in-law came with his girlfriend, but they didn't stay too long. My mother came, one of her friends came with her, and then my little sister. We were all in the room just chilling while we were waiting for him to drop and for me to push. We were playing games. We were playing that trivia game when you... I'll put a clip.
Yeah. He wears his hat at like ridiculous angles.
Yeah.
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 Wildin' Out. He did that song 100 for Drake. For Drake.
Oh, okay.
If we got a name from a woman and our game from a woman, why do we hate her?
Yeah, we were playing games. We were watching, they were watching anime. It came time where I had to push, so she was like, okay, only 3 people can stay in the room, and obviously my husband, my mother, and my sister stayed. Everybody else left. They didn't leave the hospital, they just all went to the waiting room to wait. But yeah, I started pushing at 12:10. I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and the little man was not coming out. I pushed so much and so hard. I did everything I could. Like, I was literally exhausted. I was sweating. Like, my arms were shaking. That's how much I was grabbing the back of my legs and pushing, and he just wasn't coming out. They said, okay, we were pushing for 3 hours. They're like, now it's time for a C-section. And when they said that, I was just like, oh, fuck. I wanted to cry, but then at that point, I was just like, you know what, whatever. I just want my son to be out of here. I just want to be done with this. So I was just like, okay. I mean, what else could I say? While they were telling me that the lady came in with one jumpsuit outfit for whoever I chose to come into the room with me for the C-section, I obviously chose my husband. And yeah, they wheeled me over. It was not far. It was on the same floor. It was on the other side. So they just wheeled me over to the operating room, and they started the procedure. They gave me the drug, and they started cutting me open. And let me tell you guys, that is the weirdest feeling I felt in my life. Because it's like, you don't feel it, but you feel it. Because you're not asleep. They just numb that area, so you can feel them cutting you, but without the pain of it. And it just felt so weird. I felt them tugging and stuff, and then the doctor, he was like, this is gonna be the weirdest feeling you ever feel in your life. We're about to pull him out. Oh my gosh, like, it didn't hurt, but it just felt so fucking weird. I had to like hold my husband's hand. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then, you know, they're like, okay, they're like, what time is it? Da, 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 da. And like, when they started asking what time it is, I was like, oh my baby's here. So they're like, it's 3:46, and they're like, you guys have a beautiful baby boy. And I looked over to my husband, and you know, I already had tears in my eyes, but when I looked over to my husband, he was crying, like crying, and I saw him crying, and it just made me cry even more, and it was just like, oh my god. And then they brought him over to the table above where I was laying down. There was a monitor, so I was able to see him, and they brought him over to the table, and he was just chilling. That's what they kept saying the whole time when I was pushing, because like they wanted to see like his heart rate and everything. He was so calm the whole time, all day. Like, they're just like, you have such a calm baby. Like, he is not getting, you know, he's not getting flustered like while you push. Like, he's just very relaxed. And when they put him on the table, like, he was just relaxed. They had to make him cry. And yeah, like, they made him cry, and I heard him crying, and I just started crying even more. Like, I was like, oh my god, my son is finally here. And he was so beautiful. Like, they put him on the table, and I was just like, damn, that is Nicholas all the way. Like, I was like, damn, I knew he was gonna look like Nick, but I was just taken back how much he looked just like his father. But it was such a beautiful moment seeing him on that screen. Like, I cried so much. And then while they were doing all their good stuff, like, they asked my husband if he wanted to come over and take pictures, and I'm like, yes babe, go freaking take pictures of this, because I was not able to document me pushing when I was actually trying to get him out through my vagina. They would not allow you to film that. I was like, damn, that sucks. There goes my vlog of that. And obviously when you're in the operating room, you're not allowed to film there either. So we weren't able to film his delivery whatsoever. So I'm like, you definitely need to take pictures of this, because I'm gonna need to remember this and make this a part of my scrapbook. So go take some pictures. My husband went over, he was able to see Amari, and then after everything was done, I don't remember being wheeled out of the operating room. I don't remember anything after Nicholas went over to take a picture. I had so much drugs in me. I had the epidural and then the whatever drug they gave me to numb my stomach. I was just, it was 3, almost 4 in the morning. I knocked out. I remember waking up in the room and the doctors just talking to me, asking me a whole bunch of questions. I don't remember what the hell she said the next morning. I didn't remember any of it, but I remember them waking me up and then giving me Amari. Like, I had him for like an hour in my hand, and I was just like staring at him because I couldn't believe, like, this is my baby. This is me. Like, you know, like, I just freaking had a baby. So yeah, like, I was holding him and I really didn't want to give him away. I did not want to separate from him, but I was just like, babe, take the baby and I'll see you when I wake up. I went back to sleep. I was exhausted. You guys really don't understand. My labor started from Monday, 7 o'clock at night, and I didn't have him until Wednesday, 3:46 in the morning. I was freaking exhausted. I was pushing for 3 hours before even, I was just so exhausted. So I went to sleep. I'm sorry. But yeah, I woke up the next morning and I was just in a state of awe all day. Like, I just couldn't stop staring at him. Like, it was so weird. Like, my family was just like, oh my gosh, are you gonna stop staring? And I'm just like, no, like, I have such a cute baby. Like, he's so beautiful. And I was just like, oh my god, that's my baby. Oh my god, like, I'm a mom. I cried a few times that day. Like, I was just so freaking happy. I'm like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this for forever. You know, I went through so much to have this baby. I was just so happy when he was finally here. And he was a week late, so you guys can only imagine my anticipation. The next day, I was in so much pain. Like, you guys don't understand. It's one thing to have the pain from a vaginal delivery, and then it's another thing to have the pain from a C-section. But when you have the pain from both, I'm telling you guys, I did not get out of bed that first day. I didn't need to. I had a catheter, I think that's how you say it, a pee bag. I had a pee bag because I just had those incisions. Like, I wasn't able to walk, so there was no need for me to get out of bed. Like, I couldn't do anything. Lifting my arms, a struggle, because like I was putting so much force into pulling my legs open and pushing, and like my legs were very sore from pulling on them. After the epidural wore off, I felt everything, my incisions from the C-section. Bruh, you guys know how your arm gets sore when you like give blood. I had so many different IVs and I've been poked so many times. Bruh. So that was that. I had the pain from the vaginal delivery. I had the pain from the C-section. My vagina was swollen from pushing so hard. Like, everything on me was just so sore and aching. I was just like, oh my god, I want to die. I felt like I was gonna die. They had to give me drugs that whole day, like, to numb me, because I was just like, I'm in so much pain right now. The doctors were just like, yeah, we understand you're gonna be in a lot of pain. They're like, you went through a lot last night. Like, it was just so bad. I'm so exhausted. Everything on my body swollen. My face, my feet, my back aches, my stomach is killing me. I'm in so much pain. It hurts to even hold up this camera. My arm has been poked at so much. Oh my god. This machine. This machine doesn't shut up. My baby's trying to sleep. Today is day 2 of being in the hospital. I had Amari yesterday. Today is the 14th. I had him on the 13th. It was supposed to be a vaginal delivery. We did everything we could. I was pushing for 3 hours plus, and he was just not making, and he wasn't moving. He was too big for me. So they ended up scheduling a C-section, and I had him at 3:46 in the morning. I ended up staying in the hospital for 5 days. I got to the hospital Tuesday morning at 7 in the morning. I didn't leave until Saturday around 4 o'clock. I was in the hospital for so long. When I had the C-section, I lost a lot of blood. I had to get 2 units of a blood transfusion. Guys, I just went through so much. It was so fucking stressful. When he was born, he weighed 8 pounds, 14 ounces. He was 2 ounces shy from 9 pounds. He was 21 inches and a quarter long. He's gonna be tall. He's gonna be just like his father. A big guy and tall. I already know it. I already see it. Honestly, I went through so much when it came to my delivery, but I will honestly say it was worth it because I love my son. He is such a good baby. Like, he is so calm. Like, you wanna come and say hi?
Is it playing?
Yeah. Daddy's home. My husband just came home from work. Say hi to YouTube. You're out of the shot.
What up, YouTube?
And
Hey, son. Let me go wash my hands and change.
so yeah, guys, that's everything. Like, my little man's here in time for Christmas, and I'm so in love with him. He's such a good little baby. He just be chilling. So yeah, guys, labor, not fun. The worst experience of my life.
Pussy!
Shut up. I told them how you were fucking laughing at me and I snapped on you.
Why you gotta tell people that?
Cause
Just for the record, I was laughing out of nervousness.
I said that.
Oh, okay. Just had to throw that in there just in case she didn't give you all the full perspective.
I did, but you still laughing doesn't help. I know that you're nervous tick, but still.
Yeah.
I'm going through pain. I don't want to hear nobody laughing in the room. I really want to see your ass give birth. I want to see that.
Never.
Alright then, so you can't call me a pussy if you don't know what I went
gave
through.
me genitals, male genitals to be specific.
Alright then, so don't complain, because you don't know what women go through.
If a nigga hate and call him Joe Budden.
Pussy.
Peace, guys. That's how you should end with me.
Peace out. I'll see y'all in my next video.